Where is he? It's nearly Arkham Knight o'clock, which means it's nearly time for new weapons, gadgets and sweet bat moves with which to take down the crims of Gotham. But before we do all that, let's have a little look at what the series has brought us so far. In the first game of the series, Arkham Asylum, Batman is confined to a linear area at first, with more free-roaming parts once the island opens up. Asylum introduced most of Batman's current arsenal: the Batarang, explosive gel, the line launcher, the Batclaw, and the cryptographic sequencer used for hacking. This is a Batman who knows his stuff, as he's tasked with fighting his way through the Asylum's criminally insane inhabitants in order to foil Joker's plans to destroy Gotham City. Asylum is also the first place we see the free-flow fighting system, which weaves together Batman's stealth and combat, allowing for combos and attack chains that increase his speed and agility. Arkham Asylum marked one of the first times we saw an entirely new plot from a licensed game, as it didn't tie into the Dark Knight film from the year before. And what's more, it was actually good, with comic book and animated series writer Paul Dini at the reins and an all-star cast that included voices from the DC animated universe. Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill and Arlene Sorkin all reprised their roles as Batman, Joker and Harley Quinn respectively. In the second game of the series, Arkham City, the battleground suddenly turns from a fairly linear one to a much more open-world playground for Batman and his grown-up toys. The return of stealth and Batman's spidey sense-like detective vision used to perform forensic investigations stay true to the Caped Crusader's roots, while the addition of new gadgets like freeze grenades and smoke bombs liven up the tactical combat. Melee weapons can be taken from disarmed enemies, ranging from your garden variety baseball bat into something a bit bigger like a baseball bat covered in bees. And the cryptographic sequencer can now monitor radio channels, so you can now overhear interesting crimey snippets as you hack. In Arkham City, turf wars regularly erupt, which require Batman's intervention as if he were the only parent at a sugar-fueled toddler party. It's also the first time we get inside the head of anyone other than Batman. He might make all his weapons from scratch in his magical man cave, but Catwoman, playable in the game, clearly buys all her kit from Ann Summers. She comes armed with clawed gauntlets and a whip. Her story takes place parallel to Batman's as she tries to escape from the city. The DLC for the game also includes a playable Robin and Nightwing, so 2 Robins for the price of 1. You know what they say, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the DLC? Origins takes Batman back to the beginning, but not quite as far as Batman Begins. He's already begun, so it's like Batman Begun. He's scrappy, inexperienced and a bit of a myth. The word Batman is mentioned as sparingly as possible, and his combat style is closer to street fighting than his later, more polished techniques. While gliding with his cape does make a return, fans were glad to find that fast travel, made possible with a remotely summoned Batplane, made its debut in Arkham Origins, though enemy towers in certain areas had to be taken out before the plane could be called. Batman's favourite gadgets return again, with the cryptographic sequencer, Batarang, explosive gel and disruptor all crammed into his bulging utility belt. But we've also got a few new things up those lycra sleeves. The remote claw, which slams 2 enemies together but can also create a tight rope for bats to walk across, shock gloves which block attacks, disable enemies and short-circuit objects, and the concussion detonator for large-scale stun attacks. The focus is more than ever on Batman's detective skills as Bat solves crimes and follows clues with his detective vision, and we see more of Joker's origins as Red Hood, his tragic backstory and his obsessive fascination with Batman. New enemy classes switch up the combat even more. Martial artists, armoured enforcers and superhuman venom-infused henchmen require extra special tactics to take down, and new enemies including Black Mask, Deathstroke, Electrocutioner and Copperhead make appearances throughout the game. Of course, Joker's back again, as is Killer Croc and Penguin, and Barbara Gordon before she becomes Oracle. Which brings us now to Arkham Knight. It's a mixture of the old arsenal we know and love, Batarangs, detective vision, stealth countering and attack chains, and the new and improved. Joker's definitely dead, as we saw him being cremated, which is a bit hard to come back from, and the game is set 9 months after that. Barbara Gordon is back to being computer whiz Oracle, and everyone from Robin to Nightwing and Harley Quinn to Poison Ivy and all the villains in between. Of course, the main villain is the Arkham Knight himself, an unknown masked villain who appears as a militarized version of bats, with the logo of Arkham Asylum on his chest. Who could it be? You'll just have to play to find out. Dual play means an even more exciting combat system than before, as the Batman or any one of the playable characters can combine moves and takedowns with their sidekick in a LEGO game-style player-switching mechanic. The Batmobile is also playable, with underground races included in the familiar Riddler challenges. And I can't tell you much else. Spoilers, you know. Cheers for watching, give us a like and subscribe to keep up to date, check out all our E3 coverage from last week and in the weeks to come, and why not let me know in the comments which is your favourite Batman game so far. Bye!